All right, let's get right into it. There's this really weird and honestly super frustrating thing happening to so many of us right now. You did everything you were supposed to do. You got the education, you worked hard, you climbed that corporate ladder, and you finally hit that big money milestone, a six-figure salary. And yet, somehow, when you look at your bank account, it feels like you're just treading water.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? It's the thing that probably keeps you up at night. You see the number in your paycheck, but it just doesn't feel like the security or the freedom you always thought it would bring. And if you're feeling that way, I need you to hear this loud and clear. It is not just you. You're not going crazy, and you are not failing.
And look, this isn't just a feeling. This slide right here, this is the proof. It's a statistical fact. A recent study found that a staggering 48%, that's nearly half of all people making over 100 grand a year, are living paycheck to paycheck. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't about a few people making bad choices. This is a huge economic problem that has completely blindsided a whole generation. In fact, this is happening so much that economists actually have a name for it. And understanding this term is really the first step to figuring out how to break the cycle. It gives us a name for the enemy, a way to understand what's really going on behind that good-looking salary. Welcome to the world of the high-income, low-wealth household. It's a strange place, right? Because on the outside, everything looks awesome. The salary is great, the job title sounds important, maybe the car is nice. But on the inside, financially, things are fragile. The liquid assets, the actual cash you could grab in an emergency, are razor thin. And that creates this constant low-level anxiety, that feeling that you're just one bad day, one car repair away from serious trouble. So the million-dollar question is, how on earth did we get here? How did a six-figure income stop being the golden ticket to building a comfortable life? Well, the simple answer is this: the rules of the game have changed. The promise that a good income automatically leads to real wealth, well, that promise has been broken. And here it is, the problem in black and white. For the last few decades, your wages, your salary, have been on a slow and steady climb. You can think of it like they're running a marathon. But at the exact same time, the cost of the things you need to buy to actually build wealth, especially a house, has been strapped to a rocket ship. Your paycheck is in a foot race against a fighter jet. It's an unfair fight, and it's why you feel like you can never get ahead. And this is all happening for a few key reasons. First, the price of a house compared to the average income is at an all-time high. Then you've got this weird lock-in effect, where anyone who got a super low 3% mortgage a few years ago has zero incentive to sell their house, which means there's nothing for the rest of us to buy. It all just points to one undeniable fact: the financial playbook that worked for our parents is officially dead. Okay, let's dig into the numbers that really show what's going on. I call this the brutal math because honestly, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And we're gonna focus on the biggest piece of the puzzle, the cornerstone of the American dream: buying a home. Just look at that number. To buy the median, not a mansion, just the dead center average American home, you now need to make almost $117,000 a year as a household. So that six-figure salary you worked your tail off to get, it's not a luxury anymore. It's the bare minimum entry fee just to be considered average. And of course, it gets way worse depending on where you live. If you're in a big city where most of these high-paying jobs are, the numbers just get insane. In California, you need over $220,000. In DC or Hawaii, you're looking at more than $235,000. The goalposts haven't just moved, they're playing in a totally different stadium now. So let's see what this actually does to your monthly budget. Let's say you're trying to buy a $500,000 house, which, let's be real, is not some crazy mansion in most of the country. By the time you add up your mortgage, property taxes, and insurance, you're looking at a monthly bill of about $3,800. And that's before you've even paid for electricity or Wi-Fi. Now think about this. If you make $100,000 a year, your take-home pay is probably around $6,400 a month. That $3,800 mortgage payment eats up nearly 60% of your entire paycheck. The old rule of thumb was to spend no more than 28% on housing. This right here is the definition of being house poor. You might own the house, but you have no money left to actually live your life, or more importantly, build any other wealth. Okay, so the housing market is this giant structural monster we're all fighting. But there are also traps we set for ourselves. Choices that feel good in the moment, that feel like a reward, but are actually destroying our wealth. So let's talk about one of the biggest culprits: the expensive car. You know the story, right? You get a big promotion, you finally hit your income goal, and that little voice in your head says, "I've earned this. I deserve a really nice car." and suddenly you're looking at that shiny $60,000 status symbol. But what if you didn't? What if you chose the $15,000 perfectly reliable, totally fine, but way less flashy car instead?
This is where the simple math gets really, really powerful. That status car, with its higher payment, pricier insurance, more expensive repairs, is going to cost you about $1,150 every month. The reliable car, maybe $400. That difference leaves you with an extra $750 in your pocket every single month. That's a gap, and that gap is pure, weaponized wealth-building potential. So what could that $750 a month turn into? It might not sound like a life-changing amount, but hold on. If you took that difference and invested it every month for 10 years, it would grow to over $153,000. Let me say that again, $153,000. By choosing the fancy car, you're not just spending more money, you are actively lighting $153,000 of your future self's money on fire. This single decision can be the difference between staying trapped and actually building financial freedom. Okay, so we've stared the brutal math right in the face. It's not pretty. But this is not about feeling hopeless. This is about getting empowered. So right now, we're making a hard pivot. We're done with the problem. It's time to talk about the solution, the actual strategy you can use to escape this trap, starting right now. Let's talk about the gap strategy. This is the most important mindset shift you can possibly make. Real wealth isn't built by how much you earn. It is built exclusively by the size of the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That's it. That's the entire game. Your number one financial mission is to make that gap as wide as you possibly can. So how do you do that? Here's the game plan: the 24-month lifestyle freeze. It's simple. The very next time you get a raise or a bonus, you do nothing. You don't upgrade your apartment, your car, your vacations. You keep living exactly like you were before. And you take every single dollar of that new money and you aggressively invest it. I know, this is hard. It goes against our instincts. But this short-term sacrifice is what pushes the accelerator on your financial freedom. And you do this until you hit one critical milestone. And that milestone is your first $100,000 in investments. The legendary investor Charlie Munger said it perfectly. He said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it." He's right. Getting there requires real, honest-to-God sacrifice and discipline. But it's also the key that unlocks the whole rest of the game. So why is that number so magical? Because $100,000 is the tipping point. It's the moment when compound interest stops being a boring idea in a textbook and becomes a real, powerful force working for you 24/7. Suddenly, a 10% return means your money is making you an extra $10,000 a year while you sleep. That's like getting an extra paycheck for $833 every single month for doing nothing. It's the point where your money starts working harder than you do. So let's wrap this all up. We're playing a new financial game now. The old rules are broken. The idea that just earning more money will solve all your problems is a myth. The brutal math of housing and the little traps of lifestyle inflation are all designed to keep you on a treadmill. But you can get off. It just requires a new playbook. It requires a new strategy. The math of the economy has changed. The only question left is, will you?